up in the spot. Dudes mugging, hating bad, could it be my style? Or just my pretty boy swag? Can tell by my gear, I do nothing but pop tags. You need a receipt, cause your girl just got back.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Bob Arum. Bob Arum says Anthony Joshua will never beat Usyk. And of course, this was in response to him hearing that Joshua is looking for new trainers. So take a listen.
Weight division. We're seeing that Anthony Joshua is searching for a trainer. He's been here in America. It's been rumored, Robert Garcia, Ronnie Shields, also Eddie Reynoso who trains Canelo. Who do you think would be the best option for him at this moment?
Listen, whatever option he takes, whatever new trainer he gets, he ain't going to beat Alexander Usyk. Not now, not next year. Never beat Usyk. Usyk is too smart for him. Usyk's a southpaw. Joshua is not going to learn in 6 months what he never learned was how to fight his south. So it is what it is. But if he thinks it's going to improve his chances, then let him do it.
All right, so there you have it from Bob. Not now, not ever will Anthony Joshua beat Alexander Usyk. So it doesn't matter who's training him. Conspiracy G, what's your reaction to that?
Man, listen, I 100% disagree with Bob on this. Now Usyk is impressive, and he does have unique qualities that you don't necessarily see in the heavyweight division. And he brought up two key things. Usyk is a southpaw, and he's real tricky. You know what I mean? And he has a high boxing IQ. But to me, those attributes, although tricky, doesn't mean he's, like impossible to beat. I think AJ does have the skill set. He does have the IQ. He has the physicality to beat Usyk. He just needs to go for the kill more, and AJ just seems like I just one thing I didn't understand about that fight was when Usyk was catching with jabs, there was certain jabs where AJ was just his head kept going back, and I'm just like, man, like do those jabs really hurt that much? You know what I mean? And so I don't think they do. I just feel like AJ I don't know. I feel like he doesn't want to hurt Usyk. He needs to find a way to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going into this fight and I'm trying to take Usyk's head clean off, like guillotine style. No more Mr. Nice Guy, no more nice Brit. Everything's like, freaking I don't know, biscuits and tea. Man, listen, man, come to the streets. Come to
Scones and tea, brother. Scones and tea.
Whatever, man. We gonna get you right. Come to the States, Playboy. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you, we gonna train you how to be a killer, son. Usyk, man, listen. People talk what they want to say about Chisora. Chisora had the game plan. I'm gonna rock your body, pause. But he, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, yo, Chisora, man, salute to Chisora. He threw the mean body shots. Usyk didn't like none of them. AJ, you threw a few body shots. Usyk didn't like none of them. Coming to this rematch, you going to go straight to the body and put this dude straight into the ER. That's how we got to do it. Arum, I get you, whatever. You're a promoter. You're going to lie to me. AJ, don't lie to yourself. Respect yourself, and you're going to beat Usyk easy money.
All right, so, G, I just need to know.
What up?
Hypothetically, if Anthony Joshua beats Usyk in a rematch, will you add Ukrainian soup back to the menu?
Nah, I'm going to be honest. Even if he knocked him out round one, what he showed in that first fight, yo, Ukrainian soup is forever off the menu. You know what I mean? But AJ, I believe in you, bro. On this fight, I believe in you. Go ahead, Ned.
That salute to you, G.
I'm just saying, are we still having fish and chips on the menu?
Yeah. You know what I can't do that.
All right, Dollar Bill.
I like my fish and chips haddock. Bob Arum, all right. Bob Arum went back and forth with me. You know what I'm saying? And I had to make sure I was correct before I said this. 1 minute, Bob Arum was like, "Usyk is my guy." Next minute, he was like, "Nobody want to see this fight. Usyk's too small." You know what I'm saying? Next minute, he's like, Usyk can shock the world. So Bob is just doing what Bob do. I ain't mad at Bob. Here's the thing. AJ, every man can be beat. Every man can be beat. I'm with you, G. In order for an Anthony Joshua to beat an Usyk, he has to stop trying to think so much and just go in there and fight. You're the bigger guy. You went in there with this. It seemed like you was overthinking. Like we was watching you think before you threw a shot. Like we knew what you was gonna do. Like you was just overly thinking this. Don't go in there and think. Just be the bigger man and go in there and let your hands go. Go to that body. You had him hurt. He left. Once you hurt, you hit Usyk to the body and Usyk left. What I mean by he left, he ran. He was out of there. He was gone. You had to basically chase him and you couldn't get to him. He was gone. He let you know, like, hey, I ain't met his facial expressions. Let you know, like, I didn't like this. And you left him off the hook. You just got to go in there and put everything aside. Don't overthink anything. Forget the critics. You worry too much about the critics. Remember, Kenny was saying this before. You worry too much about what everybody else is saying. Sometimes you just got to believe in yourself and go out there and just let your hands go. You're a talented young man. You didn't get here from being some bum, some punk, yo. That's why I don't like the disrespect. You look at this kid's resume. You look where he's been. You see the gold medals. Everything. This kid know how to fight. Like Kaden was saying, it's him. It's something that he needs to work with inside. Right? And once he does that, AJ is going to be a problem. Stop worrying about the criticism and just go out there and do what you know how to do, and that's fight, because the boy can fight. I don't care what you say, the boy can fight. So all you got to just go out there and just fight, and stop trying to be, don't fight the other, don't think about what the other guy's doing. That's another thing what people do too. They so get caught up in what the other guy can do and all the special things, and they forget what they can do and what they're good at.
And that's his main problem right now, Tro. You 100% right. That's AJ's main problem right now.
And that's what it is. And that's it. And I just think that once he handles that part right there, hey, AJ's going to be tough for anybody to beat. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be tough for anybody to beat. But Usyk is very special. Usyk is very special.
Yo, but I'm going to reference Rocky 3 again. But the movie, although it's fictional, it has some good qualities to it. Mm-hmm. When Lang was like in the trenches, he was hungry. He was looking at all the accolades that Rocky was getting. That was fueling his workouts. That was fueling his fights. When you're up top, man, sometimes you're like, yo, I've achieved everything. Like, the dude's a multi-millionaire with all these endorsements. Like, it's hard, like, to be motivated. But I think that might be the motivation for AJ to be like, all right, you know what? The next go around, I'm bringing everything, the kitchen sink, everything to this Usyk fight, the rematch. So that's why I'm like, what Aaron was saying, I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I think this is the motivation. Sometimes you need to lose to be motivated again, and I think this will be that motivation to actually beat Usyk.
Yeah, to some fighters, because you got people like Floyd who have never lost and stay motivated. Some guys just have it in them. This depends on the fighter. You just got to figure out who you are.
Yeah, to go to a different sport, you look at like LeBron James. He's in his 19th season, still top 5 player in the NBA. In his 19th season, he's got all the money. He's won 4 titles. Some people already say he's the GOAT. He can pack it in, but what drives him is greatness. What drives him is to be the best he can be. So, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Canelo.
Yeah.
Canelo got money.
Yeah.
Canelo's recognized.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Is that Canelo, Tom, LeBron, Floyd? Every time you saw these athletes, they got better. They got better. What they lost in athleticism, they picked up in IQ. They picked up in these guys. You know, they're rare, and you could even throw Serena Williams in there as a tennis player and as an athlete, which Dylan in boxing and you know, Candace Parker just won another title as well. So throw some women in there. But the point is, those elite athletes don't lose the hunger. It's not money that drives them. It's not, you know, the accolades. It's not the fanfare. It's not all that. It's their legacy. It's to be the best they can be. Kobe Bryant, you know, that's what drives. Ned, the TBE.
All right.
Ned.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Arum, I think you're taking a page out of my book, and I was saying, wow, there will never be Fury. And right now, I'm gonna ask you to mind your business because this is touching home to me, and you don't know, like I was respectful to you. I'm gonna ask you to be respectful to me. I'm coming to you as a man, Arum. Mind your business.
As a man to talk about another man. It's crazy, man.
Mind your business, Arum. You know, till this fight happens, we don't know what's gonna go down. You know, and you got yours. You got your victory. Congrats. And I supported you through it. I'm gonna just need your support through this, but I'm gonna need you not to give your 2 cents when you're asked about Joshua and Usyk. I honestly to believe I don't think you knew a dime about Usyk until he beat Joshua. I don't think you thought he was a heavyweight, cruiserweight, or featherweight, whatever. You didn't know about the man. So I'm gonna need you to just fall back on this one, Aaron. You know, let's just make sure undisputed happens and it happens in the right way. You hear me? Thank you. And AJ has a chance at beating Usyk in the future. That's all I was sitting on.
So Bob Arum's comments are to be expected. Bob Arum, as Trill pointed out, he'll change his position like the weather. You know, there's climate change and then there's Arum change, you know, because he's going to change along with the weather. So Bob Arum, it's to be expected. Joshua can beat Usyk. Yeah, I think he can. But the fact is, he hasn't. They fought one time and he lost. Now Usyk has a unique skill set that makes him difficult for Anthony Joshua. And his attributes have already shown to be difficult for Anthony Joshua. Contrary to what people try to say, I highlighted that numerous times in the build-up to this fight that Alexander Usyk, his height and his skill set give him the ability to mimic a style that's very difficult for Anthony Joshua. And he will be tougher than Ruiz because he actually has footwork to go along with the style. And so I also stated and predicted that he'd be a tougher fight for Anthony Joshua than Andy Ruiz, but I thought Anthony Joshua would pull it out. Here's why I thought Anthony Joshua would beat Alexander Usyk. One, I thought he would throw a power jab, not the little pawing, nagging jab that he was doing with Usyk. One, because Usyk's faster than you, so you doing all that feigning and all that pawing, he's going to beat you to the punch. So it's best for you to just see the opening, hit the opening. So I thought the jab he was going to use was going to be a power jab to the head and to the body, and he was only going to throw it when he saw opening. If there was an opening to the body, hit it. Opening to the head, hit it, but not do all this playing around. I didn't think he was going to do all that with Usyk. So one, I thought he was going to throw a power jab. Two, I thought he was going to throw more straight rights and 1-2s. And so I thought he was going to throw 1-2s, or when he land a good 2, immediately hold Usyk and put your weight on him. Whenever he landed a good jab, immediately hold Usyk and put your weight on him. I didn't know he was really going to just shell up and try to weave and do all this stuff with Usyk. I thought he was going to fight like a big man. So I thought he was going to, and everyone, put this in your scrapbook. Floyd Mayweather taught you this. He taught me this with his brilliance. Anytime a man throws a combination at you and he misses the majority of the punches, you immediately hit him to the body. Immediately. You go to the body because that fighter has drained so much energy throwing that combination. Even if they land a few, immediately after they throw 4 or 5 punches, at some point their tank is going to be lower. And once that tank is lower, right to the body. That's how you got to do Usyk, Joshua. Like, you got to start understanding, like Trill said, what you're good at, what your skill set is. You have to start understanding his weaknesses. You can't focus on everything he does well. You know what he does well? Great. But what is it? He's throwing combinations. So what must you do? Every time he throws a combination and you're in position to take advantage of a lethal body shot, do it. Every time you land a massive punch on Usyk, hold him. You know why you got to hold Usyk? Because when you land a massive punch on him, he's the type of person who's coming back with something, right? Open up on Usyk when you have him in vulnerable positions, but also be cautious and don't be greedy because he's coming back with something. Like, these are things that you would think and that you would expect Anthony Joshua to know, and that he wouldn't have need extra coaching or additional trainers for, but he could win. But with all that being said, that's a lot. It's difficult to utilize that against Usyk. People just got to start admitting Usyk is a great fighter. And Bob Arum is saying he'll never beat Usyk. And Bob Arum has the right to change his position based on what he saw in their first fight. Because what I saw in that first fight, if AJ fights that fight again, he's going to lose. And you know what it is, we're prisoners of the moment. So until we see Anthony Joshua do something different, all that's going to be on our mind is that first fight. Like with Ruiz, when he lost to Ruiz, no one could envision him beating, well, I shouldn't say no one because we did, but you get the drift. The popular opinion was there was nothing he could do that would change the outcome of the rematch. And so that's popular opinion now. But the reality is there are a number of things he can do. He can fight a different fight. Arum says he'll never win, and I think never is too strong of a word, but I think it's possible. But he's going to have to make a lot of changes within himself, though, not coaches, like within himself.
Yeah. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.
When things seem bleak, walk with me. To navigate these streets, walk with me.